Chapter 51. The group ate about half of the bear meat and finished the broth. To be fair, the broth tasted better than the bear meat, perhaps because they were all too thirsty, and anything would taste sweet at that point. Let's leave the rest of the bear meat here, Kojal said as he stretched his muscles and spoke to the group. If we make it back alive tonight, we can have another meal. Zhao Xiao suddenly spoke up. I want another bowl. Without waiting for a reply, she grabbed her bowl and scooped up more bear meat. Shoot yourself, Tijal said, standing up slowly. He glanced at the sky, guessing it was now afternoon. We need to hurry, Tijal continued. The four of us have only earned 95 Dao so far. Hey, it's nowhere near enough. Today's goal is 360. Good point, Yao Jiajin said. Getting up. Let's go. Yan Yan and Lin King packed up their things and dusted off their clothes. They glanced back and saw Xiao Xiao still sitting, continuing to eat as if she hadn't heard a thing. Xiao Xiao, aren't you coming with us? Qiang Qiao asked. Xiao Xiao tossed a large, fatty piece of meat into her mouth and licked her fingers, remaining silent. Leave her, Tijal said. Knowing this woman had ulterior motives, it was probably better for everyone if they parted ways sooner rather than later. Let's go. Tiao Jiajin nodded and began to follow Tijal. Just then, a loud bell echoed in the distance. Clang! Everyone looked confused. Tijal was about to say something when a wall suddenly seemed to fly toward him. What the? Before he could react, he slammed into the wall, face first. It took him several seconds to realize what had just happened. It wasn't a flying wall, he had simply fallen flat on the ground. Kaizhou had never felt such a bizarre sensation before. It was as if all his senses were scrambled. He struggled to turn his head and saw that Yao Jiojin, Lin Tian, and Tiang Jian were all sprawled out on the ground, unconscious. What is this? Tijal felt increasingly uneasy. He shook his head in disbelief and tried to raise his left hand, but instead, his right hand moved. He attempted to stand up, only to collapse again. The feeling was much like being drunk, but his mind was strangely clear. Zhao continued to eat her bear meat as if nothing had happened. You? What did you do? Tijal glared at her. Did you poison us? Though he voiced the suspicion, Tijal was still puzzled. Xiao Xiao had eaten more of the bear meat than anyone else. If there was poison, why was she unaffected? Tijal, listen. The bell rang. Xiao Xiao said calmly. The bell. What does that mean? It means, I want to make a deal with you, Xiao Xiao said, putting down her now empty bowl and standing up. A deal? Tijal was incredulous. He had thought this woman was just a little manipulative, but now it seemed she was far more dangerous than he had imagined. Xiao Xiao was in full control of the situation, and Kaizhou had no choice but to listen. What deal do you want to make? He asked. Stop collecting Dao, Zhao Xiao said. Just live peacefully here. What? Tijal had considered many possibilities but never expected this. She wasn't after Dao. You're telling me to live peacefully here. Tijal tried to stand, but his body wouldn't cooperate. He remained on the ground, snarling. Why the hell should I live here? Zhao calmly wiped the grease from her hands onto her pants, then walked over to the others and took the Dao tokens from their waists. Finally, she crouched down beside Kaizhou with an expressionless face, said, because you're too strong, you actually have a chance to gather enough Dao. Isn't that a good thing? Kaizhou gritted his teeth. I'll solve this mystery and get everyone out of this hellhole. No, I can't let that happen. Xiao Xiao shook her head calmly. I won't allow anyone to succeed in gathering enough. I have to protect this place. If you continue down this path, I'll make you regret it. I see. Tijal let out a cold laugh. You seemed like a normal person, but it turns out you're just a lunatic. You want me to stay here like those mindless zombies, living out the rest of my life? Didn't anyone tell you this place only has 10 days left? It's going to be obliterated. It's going to be obliterated. 这世界的骗子 as if this was not surprising news to her. Then, let me rephrase. I want you to stay here and quietly wait for the obliteration. No more collecting Dao. You lunatic, Ti Xiao muttered weakly. And what if I don't comply? Will you kill me? Maybe. You won't. Oh? Why not? Because you already have the chance to kill me, Ti Xiao said. You could have killed me right from the start. But instead, you are making deals. Why is that? Xiao Xiao frowned, then turned to the fire and tossed all the Dao tokens into the flames. Hey! Ti Xiao yelled. What's wrong with you? As the fire crackled, the Ha Zheng Dao tokens were reduced to ash. Xiao Xiao turned back to him, her face sorrowful. I'm not killing you because I hope one day you'll join us. There's no reasoning with you. Ti Xiao muttered. Oh? This place will be gone in 10 days. What do you mean, join you in the future? He paused before asking, and who exactly is us? Kanshou. Zhao Xiao said, in 10 days, you'll understand everything this place. These people, she pointed to the 3 unconscious bodies. They don't matter. Their lives aren't worth anything. But you're different. You need to stay here. Don't be ridiculous. Qi Zhao said. How could you possibly know whether they matter to me or not? I, Zhao Xiao hesitated, as if something had occurred to her. I can prove to you that their lives aren't worth anything. What are you planning to do? Without answering, Zhao Xiao took off her outer shirt, revealing a sports tank top underneath. It was then that Qish or realized Zhao Xiao wasn't chubby at all. Her muscle mass was far beyond that of Kyle Jia. Her ABS were clearly defined, and her arms were like pillars of stone. At first glance, her broad shoulders and large frame made her seem overweight, but no one could have imagined that beneath her baggy t-shirt was a body of pure muscle.